Greetings and welcome, Rotarians and guests. You're welcome to the Rotary Club of Nairobi virtual meeting taking place today on Thursday, 25th of February, 2021. As you're aware, this is the 90th year of Rotary Club of Nairobi, and I'm proud and privileged to be serving as the 90th president of this very prestigious club, also referred to as the Mother Club or Flagship Club of Rotary in Eastern Central Africa. As you're aware, this year we've had very many prolific speakers, and our speaker today is also a very high-profile individual who's going to address very pertinent matters. Our guest speaker today is His Excellency, the Indian High Commissioner to Kenya, Dr. Virander, and our media partners for the talk today are Radio 44, Nairobi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With that, I will now request Rotarian Rashmi Chugh to kindly say a prayer for us. Rotarian Rashmi, you're on mute.
Good afternoon. Let us pray on this wonderful afternoon. Grant us peace of mind and heart. Help us to make peace with the unsettled parts of our lives and show us what it means to practice love of self. Encircle our homes with peace. Remind us daily of the value of words and actions that foster kindness and consideration. Enrich our neighborhoods, parishes, and communities with peace. Teach us how to listen to each other with respect and to widen our circle of compassion and caring. Make peace a reality. Broaden our understanding and acceptance of those who belong to other nations, religion, and race. Amen.
Amen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have something to drink, I'll kindly request you to raise a toast. Alternatively, we can have the hand to the chest as we toast to the President of the Republic of Kenya. The President. Thank you. We are honored and have great privilege today. We have with us the High Commissioner of India to Kenya, as well as the Deputy High Commissioner of India to Kenya, who have both joined us today. And I'd like to say a quick welcome to all the Rotarians and guests who have logged on today. We have had an opportunity to mingle earlier on, and welcome to all who are present today. I will request everyone to kindly mute. Thank you. I will now read out an introduction of our High Commissioner, who is our guest speaker for today. Welcome, High Commissioner of India to Kenya, Dr. Virander. Dr. Virander joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1991, before taking up his present assignment as High Commissioner of India to Kenya. He was Additional Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, dealing with multilateral engagement in India's neighborhood. Prior to that, he served as Joint Secretary at Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Service, formerly Foreign Service Institute, a premier institution of India for the training of Indian and foreign diplomats. He has earlier served as Ambassador, Deputy Permanent Representative of India to the United Nations in Geneva between 2016 and 2019, Deputy High Commissioner of India in London between 2013 and 2016, Minister at the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C. 2010 to 2013, Director in the Prime Minister's Office during 2007 and 2010, and Counselor Political at the Indian Embassy in Moscow from 2003 to 2007. He has also held diplomatic positions in the Indian missions in Almaty, Vladivostok, Rome, and St. Petersburg. During his other previous stints at the Ministry of External Affairs headquarters, he served in Europe East and Americas divisions. He holds a medical degree from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. He speaks Punjabi, Hindi, and English and Russian, and we hope soon a bit of Swahili. With that, welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Shall I start, Ritesh?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, President Ritesh, for this detailed and generous introduction. I have the good opportunity of personally knowing some who are present in the virtual room today, but I'm sure I'm making new friends today through this talk that you have so very kindly arranged for me through the Rotary Club of Nairobi. Thank you so much for asking me to join. And it's indeed a privilege for me to be in the same virtual room as so many distinguished members of the Rotary Club. And I bring you all greetings from the Indian High Commission in Nairobi, even though right now as we speak, I am in Nakuru on my way to a long planned trip to Eldoret. And I broke the journey to meet you all through this medium. When the proposal came from Ritesh for me to do this talk today, I was not too sure whether I would be able to do it, at a short notice. But later I realized that it's a good opportunity, even though I don't have much advance notice to prepare well for this talk. But it could be an occasion to exchange views on how we in the Indian High Commission and you in the Rotary Club of Nairobi view the present and the future of India-Kenya relations. Here I would like to add that the one person I missed today in this virtual room is a close friend and also the Vice President of your club, Ambassador Josephine Ojiambo. In fact, for several reasons, it is because of her that I happen to be present doing this talk today. And you know the reasons. Ambassador Josephine lost her brother a few days ago. And last evening, President Ritesh and I were there at her place to offer condolences. And there I was really very pleasantly surprised to see the fellowship that was offered by the Rotary Club, the various Rotarians who were present at her place to offer condolences and to join in the prayers. And it was truly amazing to see the sense of passion and the sense of belonging that you all have for your club. It's about commitment, and you have my congratulations. Before I come to the topic, let me also share with you very briefly what I know about the Rotary Club. Even though I have not been closely associated with the activities of the club, but I remember in 1985, when I was still in the medical school, how passionately, how aggressively the Rotary Club International started a very effective, very enthusiastic campaign, Polio Plus. So being a medical student, one cannot not get attracted to such ventures. And let me also recall that I was indirectly associated with that effort in India, not formally, but informally, when India was declared polio free in the year 2011. And I vividly recall that it was a small little girl, a 2-year-old girl in the state of West Bengal, who happened to be the last reported case of polio in India. And 3 years down the road, when there was no new fresh case of polio for 3 years, in 2014, India was declared polio free. So this is something which has a very lasting impression in my mind, not just as in my previous capacity as a medical doctor, but also on what Rotary Club has done in the service of humanity. Now, in my attempt to talk about India-Kenya relations in the next half hour or so, I would like to point out that it's a relationship, just like any other relationship between two states. It's a relationship which is embedded in the larger milieu, in the larger context of international relations at the regional and the global level. And while I attempt to describe this relationship, the present and the future, I would perhaps need to zoom in and zoom out of this relationship. And when I say that this relationship, like other relationship, is embedded in a larger environment and in a larger context, this is not to underestimate certain inherent strengths, certain unique features that the two countries enjoy, and the mutual goodwill that we have for each other, which has been so very important and so very useful in promoting this relationship further from strength to strength. Let us step back a little to see the origins of this relationship. India became independent in the year 1947, and Kenya came into being as a sovereign country, as an independent nation in 1963. But some luminaries present in this virtual room, such as Mr. Manu Chandaria, even the family of our president, Ritesh Barot, they predate even 1947 in Kenya. So it's a relationship which predates the coming into being of India and Kenya as sovereign political entities. Now, when we talk about India-Kenya relations, one tends to focus immediately, instantly, and instinctively about the trade and economic engagement that has been there for decades. It's largely very true, but it's equally important to recognize that over the years, the two countries have very consciously made effective efforts to add new dimensions to this relationship that goes beyond the trade and economic engagement that is based on a very sound footing of mutual political understanding. And here I would like to start with the trade and economic relationship that we have and how we view it going into the future. Now, India happens to be one of the top investment partners of Kenya, and the figure that I have and that we keep using now in the contemporary times, it will be updated in the months to come, but $3.5 billion of investments, cumulative investment into Kenya from India is something that we are proud of, and we hope that both through greater government-to-government engagement and through closer collaboration between the businesses of the two countries, this figure is going to surely increase in the times to come. When it comes to bilateral trade, it is to the tune of nearly $2.2 billion US dollars. In my 5 months here in Kenya as the High Commissioner, I've heard from many quarters that the potential of bilateral trade is far more. And in many ways, it is true. And even the business communities, they echo this assessment that we could do a lot more. Right now, we are all, as they say, suffering the slowdown caused by the small, little, tiny virus, this COVID-19. But let me share with you that over the last several months, we have not allowed the tempo, the momentum of bilateral interaction to slow down. We have been talking to each other at the government-to-government level, and also, more importantly, in this context, business-to-business level. So the Indian trade and economic entities particularly the Apex Chambers of Commerce and Industry in India, they have been very forthcoming in organizing a series of virtual meetings covering diverse sectors. And we hope that once we are done with this health crisis, COVID, which has imposed a series of restrictions across the world, we'll be able to devise new ways and means to overcome these challenges and also make use of the emerging opportunities in the road to recovery in our trade and economic relationship. One area where the business community has been advising us and advising themselves as well is that the diversification of trade is something which is necessary, and what is happening is that there is a belief that it is also possible. In terms of the existing areas of cooperation and also the potential areas of cooperation, I see that we are guided by the flagship programs in India and also the Big Four agenda of the Kenyan government here in this country. There are areas, the identified Big Four areas, and we have made progress in some sectors. There are some sectors where we could do more, and the business communities are engaged in that. When I talked about flagship programs, it is Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat are the two concepts, the two, as they say, campaigns which are aimed at developing India's industrial capacities for India's development, but at the same time, it also offers new opportunities, new ways and means to diversify India's external trade and economic engagement. And this is what we have been discussing with the business communities and also with the governments and the civil society, how we can make use of these new opportunities. I would like to flag one case study, or we can say, a shining example of Indian investments in Kenya. And this is, as you all know, Rivatex factory. I'll be visiting the factory for the first time tomorrow morning. And this is something which is not just a symbol of close cooperation between India and Kenya in the economic context, but also a shining example of that. We can do things. The positive results can be demonstrated by efforts such as this. And if you look at the quantum of investment, it's not that much. It's just 29.4 million. And corresponding impact of this investment in Rivatex is something which is perhaps more striking, more impressive. The figures that I have with me, I'll just read out what this investment has resulted in is the increase in the installation capacity of this factory by 8 times. It has created 2,000 direct jobs, 10,000 indirect jobs, and it has revived the cotton production in 22 counties. So this is just by way of giving a glimpse of the win-win character of our investment relationship, and some of you who are already dealing with the economic relations with India from the Kenyan side, you know that capacity building and also development assistance, these are two very important pillars in our relationship. And when it comes to development assistance, the vehicle that the government of India uses is mainly the concessional loans, which we call lines of credit. And these lines of credit have been used, and there are certain offers on the table, for instance, for the development of electric generation and transmission systems, and also for agricultural mechanization. There is also a line of credit on offer for building a cancer hospital in Kenya, and we are sure that in the months to come, in the times to come, we are going to get concrete offers from the Kenyan side, so that we begin to make progress even on those fronts. Certain new areas or areas which exist but needs to be strengthened, and they can be strengthened. Here I would like to mention about the ICT sector. Now, what we are facing during the COVID times is that uh, even the meeting that we are having is a demonstration of the importance of the ICT sector. You know, working from home, reduced travel, virtual meetings, virtual negotiations, and the rest of it. And here we need to build our capacities and capabilities in both countries by working together, by meeting each other's needs. And India stands ready, India stands equipped to share the knowledge, to share the expertise, to share the skills in the field of information and communication technologies, automation technologies, and various related software platforms. A couple of months ago, I had a very forward-looking, a very encouraging meeting at a high level in the Kenyan Ministry of ICT, and in the weeks and months to come, I sincerely look forward to some solid results in terms of collaborations, new collaborations between the ICT industries in the private sector between the two countries. On the business side, let me also add to the institutionalized engagement that we have been having. It's very heartening to see that the interest being shown by the chambers of commerce and industry in India, like CII, FICCI, PSC Chamber, that level of interest, that depth of interest is being reciprocated by their counterpart organizations in Kenya, such as KNCCI, the Kenyan Association of Manufacturers, and also Can Invest. This is something which in the post-COVID period, we would like to enhance it even further. At the governmental level, which is a crucial level, I would say the primary level to drive any bilateral relationship, I would like to inform you that there are two very effective institutionalized mechanisms. The first is the India-Kenya Joint Commission, which is led on the two sides by the two foreign ministers. And it is not just the foreign policy aspect of it, the political dimension of bilateral relationship, but this is a vehicle, this is a mechanism where the two ministers, they review the overall relationship. The other mechanism is what we call the bilateral India-Kenya Joint Trade Committee. This is co-chaired by the trade ministers of two countries. The last meetings of these two formats were held in 2019. And now we are preparing, both sides are preparing for the next round of these meetings. And the idea is that the two sides prepare for these meetings well to demonstrate some solid progress made by the joint activities that we have undertaken since these last meetings were held. On the capacity building side, let me share with you that we have over 400 Kenyan nationals going to India every year over the last several years, going to India for training in various disciplines, both academic and professional, for varying periods of time on fully funded scholarships. And some of the important areas that we have covered under this scheme, which we call ITEC, Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program, are housing, cybersecurity, information security, industrial training, agriculture, management, and even in recent times, healthcare. And there's a new area that we have added in the last couple of months, which is training, exclusive training in postal field, and there is a program being organized exclusively for Kenya. It shows that India is committed to meeting the training needs as projected by the Kenyan government. Uh, there are a couple of other areas which I'll very briefly touch upon, and we can elaborate on what I said a little while ago in the question and answer session. But I would like to flag the areas where we could perhaps do more. One is the maritime domain. Here, it's maritime security, which is so very important in the present international environment. And both India and Kenya, being the Indian Ocean countries, we are both members of Indian Ocean Rim Association. And the new concept of Indo-Pacific is something where we can pool in our capabilities, our potential of making this region, the Indo-Pacific region, more prosperous and also more secure. So in the maritime domain, it's maritime security, counterterrorism, and also the blue economy that we all talk about. And being maritime neighbors, we are of the belief that both India and Kenya can enter into more discussions and work out plans to exploit the large potential that is available to both the countries. On the higher education front, there have been collaboration in the past, but it is our assessment, and it's a very considered assessment, that there is scope for more research and innovation activities. I have had some contacts with the University of Nairobi. I look forward to visiting other universities in Nairobi. Day after tomorrow, I'm visiting Moi University in Eldoret. The idea is to exchange views on what are the specific areas where we can work together to enhance our knowledge and skills and expertise through closer collaboration, through more research and innovation. We are also looking forward to developing closer linkages between the think tanks of the two countries. We are making beginning. We have had some meetings in the recent past, and we have sensitized the Indian potential Indian counterparts on the think tank in the think tank circles as to how the think tank communities of the two sides can work together and generate new ideas, new possibilities, or enlarge the menu of options available to the two countries to expand bilateral cooperation in diverse fields. So before I conclude, I would like to say that this is a relationship which has huge potential. It's a very forward-looking relationship, and one important factor which helps us having this confidence that it has a very promising future is the presence of a largely business-driven Indian diaspora in this country. We have about 100,000 Kenyans in this country with of Indian heritage. They have an instinctive admiration, an instinctive understanding of what India is all about, what India stands for. And this is an asset that we have always valued, and we look forward to their continued role in making this relationship more substantive and more mutually beneficial. As I said, in half an hour, it's not really possible to cover this relationship in its entirety, because relations between any two states are conducted at various levels in different layers. And there are individuals involved. There are the primary driver, of course, is the level of government-to-government cooperation, government-to-government engagement. And in our India-Kenya context, let me add that where we are today is largely because of the roadmap that was given to us by our leaders in the years 2016, when the Indian Prime Minister visited Kenya, and 2017 when President Kenyatta made a state visit to India. And I would encourage all of you who are interested in the evolution of India-Kenya partnership to look at the joint statements and also the statements the two leaders made during those visits. And they showed us the path. They gave us a roadmap to work on that. And this is what we are doing. Having said that, I would like to add that the role of businesses, the role of private sector, the role of civil society, the role of people at large cannot be underestimated. And also, while we seek to strengthen and deepen the relationship, there are, and it's a fact of life, there are also impeding factors. So in a real world, whenever relations between two states are conducted, it's a very complex exercise. Part of it is voluntary, part of it's involuntary, and before we claim to be able to fully evaluate or judge a relationship, I think it needs a very deep understanding of various factors that drive the relationship. In the Q&A session, I would try to answer the questions, but I would also encourage my friends here in this virtual room that they are most welcome to visit us in the High Commission. My colleagues and I are ever available to answer your queries, and I think a greater understanding of this relationship is important. In fact, it's the basis of further progression of this relationship to mutual benefit. With these words, President Ritesh, allow me to stop here, and I would be very happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed, Your Excellency, for this very enlightening talk, explaining to us about the ongoing and strengthened relationships between India and Kenya. And some of the facts you have told us have actually got us thinking. Thank you so much. I will now look into the chat group, and we have a couple of questions. I'll ask our past president, Kamal Sanghani, to kindly ask the first question, followed by a question by past President Leah Bryant from Rotary Club of Bahari, Mombasa.
Your Excellency, welcome to Kenya, first of all, and welcome to Rotary Club of Nairobi. It's great and thank you for taking time on your busy schedule and making a stop in wonderful Nakuru. Your Excellency, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on India becoming the first Indian vaccine to be registered here in Kenya. I'm sure you know that. What I'm told is we're getting about 1.4 million virals from India. Don't you think that is a small number for such big population? Is your High Commission helping us out to cure more virals? Secondly, is that I know the President has briefed you on our activities, and one of them is we do eye camps. Obviously, under the COVID regulations, we've been stopped. But once they're activated, do you think we can get assistance from your High Commission and bring in more doctors from India and carry out good opportunity and service to the needy, Your Excellency?
साहब हो गया स्पीच भेज भी दिया करके हो गई हमारा म्यूट है ना
Your Excellency. Your Excellency. Mr. President.
Yes, thank you, Past President Kamal.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Your Excellency.
Can you hear me?
We lost you for a while.
Yeah, I think I lost you in the middle, but can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Your Excellency.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I couldn't hear the question in full, but what I gathered.
The question was, or rather, first of all was a statement to welcome you to Kenya. Number one. Number two is congratulations on India's Covaxin being the first registered vaccine in Kenya at the Ministry of Health. Congratulations for that. And I'm sure you're aware that we're getting 1.4 million virals from India, the Covaxin virals. And 100,000 out of that 1.4, 100,000 is being donated by the Indian Republic through the good office of the Prime Minister. Don't you think for such a big population, 1.4 million virals is a small amount? I hope your High Commission is helping us out. When I say us, the Kenyans, to get more virals so that we can get, because what the study shows, the Indian vaccination is the cheapest out of all that has been discovered so far. So that will help us Kenyans to get cheaper vaccinations and get it more to the people and save lives. And my third question was that I'm sure you've been briefed that we do a lot of eye camps. But obviously, with the COVID situation, they've been properly been stopped. But once we do activate those camps, can we get assistance and help from the Indian High Commission and bring in more doctors so we can do good service together in joining hands with the Rotary Club of Nairobi and the Indian High Commission? Your Excellency.
Thank you. Nurse Chair. First of all, thank you for the warm words that you said about the Indian vaccine industry. Indeed, India happens to be the largest vaccine manufacturer globally. And in the COVID-19 context, various estimates suggest that India is going to meet around 70% of the COVID-19 vaccine needs of the world. About vaccines in India, there have been various vaccine candidates under investigation and action in India. But let me tell you that as we speak, there are two vaccines available now. One is the Covishield, which is the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine being manufactured by Serum Institute of India in Pune. There's another vaccine, which is India's indigenous vaccine. It's called Covaxin. And this is developed by India indigenously by the Indian Council of Medical Research and manufactured by a company called Bharat Biotech Limited. This is a vaccine which many countries are working to procure from India, and there is a series of countries in dialogue with Bharat Biotech at various stages. Some are at the stage of talking about regulatory approvals. Other are discussing the commercial aspects of it. So there are two vaccines. Now, coming to your questions about supply of vaccines from India to Kenya, there are three possibilities, and work is underway on all those three fronts. The first is what India has offered on a grant basis. India has decided to offer 1 lakh doses, which is 100,000 doses of Covishield on gratis basis to Kenya, subject to all the regulatory approvals for use of this vaccine in Kenya in place. We have been following it up with the Kenyan government, and it is hoped that sooner rather than later we'll get the confirmation of the regulatory requirements being in place, and then we'll take the next step forward. The other route is, which we understand, is the COVAX route. And I think it was about 2 weeks ago that WHO and UNICEF, they have approved the Covishield manufactured in India by Serum Institute that has been cleared for use through the COVAX facility. And as we speak, the first consignment of Covishield through COVAX facility is landing or has landed in Ghana. And Kenya is also one of the recipient countries through the COVAX route. In the COVAX route, it is not Government of India which is directly involved. It is being procured by the COVAX mechanism from India on mutually agreed terms and conditions. The third possibility is the Government of India procuring from India either Covaxin or Covishield directly.
So I asked
Directly. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Your Excellency, you are.
So that is the third thing. Now, coming to the last point that you raised was about doctors assisting or engaging with their Kenyan counterparts for the eye camps and others. I had a very useful interaction in the health ministry a few days ago, and this was very high on the agenda on capacity building. To have institution to institution mechanisms of engaging the facilities in identified specializations and also doctor to doctor. In certain specializations where there is a demand for more Indian expertise in these countries, which we have been given to understand, for instance, oncology or mental health or even nephrology. This issue is under discussion, but at doctor to doctor level, let me assure you that some work has already been done in recent weeks in the area of closer collaboration or training or even possibilities of joint research in the field of ophthalmology. But this is more, it's not a G2G way of working, and I'll be very happy. Let me tell you that, I was in my previous capacity as an ophthalmologist, as an eye surgeon, I am personally very much inclined to see progress on this front. And if there are any specific proposals, I would be very happy to receive them from you, and we'll work on that.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Mr. President, please take note. We have our first voluntary doctor for our next camp.
How wonderful. Thank you, and thank you, Your Excellency. The next question is from past president of Rotary Club of Mombasa, Bahari, Leah.
Thank you, President Ritesh. Thank you, Your Excellency. And as a glaucoma sufferer, thank you also for being a wonderful ophthalmologist and for such a wonderful and inspiring lecture. Many of us Kenyan Africans choose to go to India for particular medical interventions and surgeries, both because it's cost effective and because of the different specialties and the brilliant medics in India. I owe being able to walk purely to great surgeons in Mumbai after a total mess up in Mombasa. Why is it so difficult for patients in Mombasa to get medical visas from the High Commission in Mombasa, even with proper medical documents, clean security clearance, sufficient financial records and jobs to ensure that we have no need to disappear there in India? I have had to go for 3 necessary emergency surgeries in Mumbai, and even with my Rotary connection, it was a humiliating and daunting process, particularly when I was already ill and weak. And I'm only speaking on behalf of, in Mombasa, because I'm not sure what the process is like in Nairobi. So I was just wondering, because I think that people come to Kenya from India in a much easier way. But for those of us, especially, we're really going there because we need the help and we know that we can get it there. It becomes very difficult. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, to begin with, let me say that I sincerely regret the inconvenience that you might have faced in getting the visa, especially the medical visa, to visit India. I know that India is a destination of choice when it comes to medical treatment abroad for our Kenyan friends. And the fact that even during the difficult COVID lockdown period, we didn't stop issuance of medical visas. It demonstrates the seriousness that we attach in the High Commission to issuing timely and hassle-free medical visas to our Kenyan friends. Again, I regret that you have had that unpleasant experience. I would certainly bring this to the attention of our office in Mombasa, and we will do all that it takes to avoid recurrence of such incidents. But it is a high priority for us to issue visas, medical visas, in time to enable our friends to visit India for their treatment, which they always look forward to it. In India, it goes without saying that why our Kenyan friends go to India, because they get world-class treatment in world-class facilities by world-class doctors at fraction of what they would pay elsewhere in the world. And this is something which is also an important dimension of people-to-people engagement, and how India can contribute to meet the healthcare needs of our friends in Kenya. Rest assured, we'll look into this, and we'll try our best to prevent any recurrence of such incidents.
Thank you very much indeed, Your Excellency. Rotarian Leah. Thank you very much indeed.
I said thank you so much. Thank you very much for your kindness.
And with that, we do have one further question which has come in from Dr. Michael Hopkins. And thereafter, I will request if Trustee Dr. Geeta is listening in, if she can please also say hello to His Excellency, and thereafter we will have the vote of thanks. Professor Michael Hopkins.
Thank you, President Ritesh. Apologies not to show my beautiful picture in video format. And thank you very much, Ambassador Paul, for a very illuminating talk. My question is related to the work that India is doing on corporate social responsibility. Through its law on promoting corporate social responsibility of the largest companies in India, where they're asked to contribute 2% of profits to such activities. India is actually leading the world in the dialogue with companies on corporate social responsibility, and making very, very interesting progress. I don't know how familiar the ambassador is. He can't be familiar with everything I know that goes on in his great country. But I wonder if the ambassador has actually seen any links between Kenya and the sorts of activities that India is doing on corporate social responsibility. For instance, even discussing with the business community in Kenya on their approach themselves, and whether they could also partner or learn something from the experience that's been going on in India for, I think now 7 or 8 years. Thank you very much, Ambassador, and I hope this is not too complicated a question at this time of day. Thank you.
No, absolutely. The question is easily understandable. It's not complicated at all. But by way of answering it, let me admit that I have not had an occasion so far to discuss CSR in the larger India-Kenya context with my business friends, either from India or the Kenyan ones. But the government of India, what I know is making procedures and systems easier for the Indian business entities in India to be able to perform and fulfill their CSR responsibilities more effectively and in a more smooth way. But in the larger India-Kenya context, how it plays out is something I'll have to educate myself. Perhaps you and I could meet one of these days and discuss about it.
Thank you, sir. I'd be absolutely delighted to come and chat with you. It'd be my great pleasure. I'm not too sure it would be yours, but it would certainly be mine. Thank you.
I'll be very happy to be educated by you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. If you can please allow us just 5 more minutes, if that's okay. We have 2 more questions.
Absolutely.
And a vote of thanks.
Please go ahead.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead.
So the next question is by Dr. Margareta.
Thank you very much. Oh, it sounds like somebody is not muted. Someone is not muted. Yes, thank you, Ambassador. This was wonderful. I wanted to ask you about what you can do to strengthen cultural and arts exchanges between India and Kenya. I know a couple of years ago, we had Indian filmmakers come to Kenya and they made a marvelous contribution. They included themselves in a film festival, Nairobi Film Festival. They shared about several of their original films. And I know you have wonderful writers, wonderful dancers, wonderful musicians. I just wonder if there are steps that you may take in the future to advance exchanges between marvelous Kenyan actors, dancers, writers, and singers. Thank you.
Thank you for asking this question. It's, I would say it's very important. Regardless of the fact that we have 100,000 Indian cultural ambassadors in this great country, there is a need to constantly fine-tune our engagement on the cultural front. I say this because culture, by definition, is not limited only to song and dance. It's not just music and dance. It entails so much more.
Right,
you mentioned
right.
about cinema. Cinema
Yes.
being, I think, is one of the most effective form of storytelling, and not
Yes.
just the conventional, the traditional Bollywood cinema. Again, there is so much to it. I look forward to working with the Kenyan Film Commission in coming times, and how at the film organizations level things could be done. At the same time, we have come across a couple of requests, a couple of proposals from individual filmmakers, which we are delighted to encourage. The Indian filmmakers from here going to India, likewise the Indian filmmakers coming to Kenya for making films. Now, feature films, documentary films, films on wildlife in both countries. Tourism is another thing. You mentioned about literature. We have some globally known writers.
Yes, absolutely.
in this country who would need to be exposed, and that is our obligation. To expose them to Indian audience and readership, and like the Indian authors. So you are right. I am absolutely on the same page with you that this is an area where we need a little more emphasis, a little more energy to be given, and we hope that when we are done with this COVID crisis, we'll work together both at the government to government level and also at the level of individual artists or filmmakers or literature experts, university professors. There is so much that could be done in the larger umbrella of cultural cooperation, and this will be one of my priority as I go along performing at my duties as a High Commissioner. Thank you so much for asking this question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed. And now I will call upon Dr. Manu Chandaria for his question. Manubhai?
Yeah, thank you. Your Excellency, thank you very much. It is the first time we've been able to, at least been able to talk. We have been able to talk on the other way around, but not on like this. First, congratulations to be with us. I just wanted to find there are so many things India can do. It's unbelievable. But the today's everybody's talking about COVID, people are talking about education, but the worst and the most difficult part today in this our country is employment, job creation, and youth. Anything that you can support with the youth, with the smallest thing, converting rubbish into something, anything little small cottage industries, which does not require too much of money, but it can occupy the people. And I think that is where we can make the best possible move to really win. There are almost 3-4 million youth facing street today. So may I have some suggestion on that? Thank you.
First of all, thank you, Dr. Sandaria. Personally, having come here, I have been looking forward to meeting you. But it's so nice to meet you on the screen today. We are close neighbors. We live at a few hundred meters distance from each other.
That's right.
It's a pity. It's a pity that the virus has not allowed us to meet so far.
That's right.
But at the earliest possible opportunity, Dr. Chandaria, I would like to meet you and discuss a variety of things. But coming to the point of youth development, I think this is a priority, a very high priority in India, and it is equally a high priority in Kenya because of the demographic profiles that we have in the two countries. And when I mentioned about capacity building in Kenya, using the facilities available in India through various programs of sharing of knowledge and skills and expertise. The larger thrust is that to build capacities in the young people to make them more productive and to make them more employable. That is the larger guiding force behind the whole exercise of encouraging training of Kenyan youth in India. And I also mentioned about what is the source, or what is the direction of investments in India. That also is to a large extent aimed at capacity building. I mentioned about Rivatex. I mentioned about the number of increase in job creation, both directly and indirectly. So I think in terms of thinking and in terms of larger approach, we are on the same page. But Dr. Chandari, I would love to meet you and also discuss with you what could be other possibilities to work together in this important areas, because there's a lot of work being done by various bodies and entities under your leadership, under the umbrella of your companies, that is being done in Kenya. But in a collaborative framework between India and Kenya, I would like to get some ideas from you as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We certainly will meet. Right now, I'm in Geneva. This is what I'm seeing from my sitting room here.
I really miss it. I was in Geneva for 3 years.
Yeah, I know.
I served there in the mission, and I can see, and I really miss it.
Yeah, I just took a tour to that area of United Nations.
Okay.
And just about 2 days or 3 days back. And it's beautiful over here, Lake Geneva, Alps in front of us.
Indeed, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And we do have one further question from our President-elect, Gideon Akabi. Rotarian Gideon.
President Ritesh, I was not raising my hand. I pressed it by mistake. Sorry about that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And now I will call upon our Rotarian and the executive editor, managing editor of Nation Media Group, Rotarian Pamela Sitoni, to kindly give a vote of thanks to our guest today, His Excellency, Rotarian Pamela.
Thank you, President Ritesh. Your Excellency, Dr. Virander Paul, first of all, congratulations and welcome to Kenya. As a media person, I also want to welcome you to the media. We have an active media scene here, and we shall definitely be looking out for you to talk more about the relations between Kenya and India. Thank you very much for making time to give us such an inspirational talk. It is not every time that we are privileged to listen to a speaker of such distinguished qualifications and service as you. Because of our rich joint history and heritage, which you have very clearly articulated today, India holds a very special place in the hearts of Kenyans. You will feel it, you will feel the goodwill that exists even as you live in Nairobi and you travel across the country. Your Excellency, you have painted for us a very clear picture of the relations between India and Kenya, from trade and economic relations to bilateral relations to education and much more. I must say, Your Excellency, that I really appreciate the honesty with which you have painted this picture by also pointing out the areas where we could do better, where there is scope for improvement, such as the maritime domain and the cultural exchange space that Margareta talked about, and a lot more that we hope as you